revelations that Kenyans were shortchanged during negotiations for the construction of the standard gauge railway.
Details seen by NTV show the exaggerated cost for goods and services procured by the parties that signed the initial agreement in 2012.
Well, Leila Mohammed with the identities of 7 Kenyans who committed the nation to one of the largest debts yet.
Negotiations for the construction of the standard gauge railway, which the Daily Nation described as the pillars of greed, were conducted between 27th of June 2012 and the 30th of August of the same year. The Kenyan delegation was chaired by Solomon Ouna, a consultant for Kenya Railways and also the project manager in charge of the SGR development. He passed on in 2018. Alfred Madheka was by then the finance manager at the Kenya Railways. He left the corporation in 2018, but not before being demoted by former Kenya Railways MD Atanas Maina over claims of poor performance in the SGR project. Lucy Njoroge, procurement manager at the Kenya Railways, was also one of the signatories. She too, like Madheka, left the corporation in early 2018 over poor performance claims. Mary Kitani, a one-time officer in the office of the Deputy President, was also a signatory to the deal. Kitani, who was once viewed as a powerful figure in government, has been the subject of a controversial and bitter contest in court with her estranged spouse. Stanley Gitari, the legal officer at the Kenya Railways by then, was also felled by the MD Atanas Maina in March 2018. He too was axed over poor management of the SGR project, which is now one of the biggest burdens to the taxpayer. David Mondali was the rail maintenance manager who also took part in the negotiations and signed the deal between Kenya Railways Corporation and CRBC of China.
My friends, we are ahead of our payment schedule. Ahead.
The Chinese delegation was represented by the general manager for the China Road and Bridges Company CRBC Kenya office, Li Klang, who led a 9-man team, 4 of whom travelled from their marketing department at the CRBC headquarters in China. The devil was in the detail. The contract quotes outrageously high figures for even simple tasks like landscaping. The document shows that grass planted along the railway stations was procured at a cost of 1 billion shillings. Those who signed on behalf of Kenya government agreed to the purchase of 112 portable radios at approximately 1.4 million shillings and 45 buses to shuttle workers at 25 million shillings each. The ideal market price would be about 10 million shillings a bus. 12 minibuses were bought at 12 million shillings each. Welding machines that actually cost 25,000 shillings in the market were bought at 442,872 shillings. The chief engineers enjoyed 5 million shillings worth of airtime for 3 months, with the government of Kenya spending top dollar on expensive furniture worth 11,500,000 for each one of them. Loudspeakers were bought at 28,800 shillings. Laserjet printers that should cost 40,000 were purchased at over 500,000 shillings as well. The draft agreement with the inflated figures was tabled and discussed. It was noted that the legal sections had been examined by the KR legal team and subsequently forwarded to the permanent secretary then in the Ministry of Transport, requesting him to seek legal opinion of the Attorney General before moving forward with the project that saw the trains begin ferrying goods and passengers on 1st of June of 2017. In the contract, the movement of the money would be in US dollars and directly from the Exim Bank of China to CRBC accounts. In details of the contract are promised to the nation by President Uhuru Kenyatta.
You want a copy of the contract? My friend, I'll get it to you tomorrow.
So they are commercial interests protected by Chinese rule of law. So I cannot say we agree or disagree, disclosure these kind of agreements.
In the contract, a confidentiality clause states that publicity of any kind by any means by one party, hereto any third party, not involved in the present contract, requires the prior written approval of the other party. Thus, the President's promise might have never seen the light of day, considering that each party was expected to maintain a commercial confidentiality of any information or data. Leila Mohammed,